Shut up, there is no time. Hello, welcome back to Doom 3 Intellectuals. Remember to stop killing games.com. I've learned more about the recent American school shooting, because where else would that happen? It was perpetrated by a girl, not by a boy this time. It is shocking, because for multiple reasons, and here I have to be careful because of them. Maybe our staircase would be a good place to hold my fort. With the barrel too. They're not coming from here now. That red barrel did not explode. The grey barrel, so I guess fuck. Well, now we're fucked. So I guess the grey barrels wouldn't explode anyway. And that's that. Let's avoid this guy for a little while longer. There we go. It's been perpetuated by the girl. Her name is Natalie, but she went under a different name for some reason. I don't remember the details. Why would I bother? So yeah, it's important because yeah, like I said, girls, women usually don't perpetuate that, perpetrate that. Yeah, and. So what's the commentary? Because usually, like I said, it's the men, the boys who do that because they're aggressive, because they're hateful, because they couldn't get laid, because they wrote a manifesto about being distinguished gentlemen. Because, you know, guys are hard, logical, and not emotional at all. So they don't, in fact, crave a connection, friendship, relationship, partnership with anyone. They just want to have sex and not raise a family, a loving family, and be proud of their children. Of course not. So they can't be also easily taken advantage of when it comes to that. When they want a relationship that a girl online could offer, and all you need to do to get that is donate a couple $100, and she'll surely read your dono message this time. You know how it is. So yeah, when guys can't get laid, it's because they're hateful and losers, but when a girl does it, it's a silent scream for help, as it usually is. And I say that based on the suicide rates, based or divided, what's the phrase? Suicide rates in both men and women, where men's suicide rates are high and also successful, while women's suicide rates are not that high, probably maybe even they're actually low, and also they often don't kill themselves that well. They fail to kill themselves for some reason. And a good interpretation is that it's a silent cry for help, where they reach for suicide as a way to, of course, get attention, so that someone takes care of them, is one thing, right? And that doesn't sound too good faith. Well, phrasing it like that doesn't sound non-mean. There's a word that I'm missing. However, that's the good faith interpretation, because the alternative is that women suck at killing themselves and they can't do it right? So obviously it's silent cry for help. Meanwhile, when men do it, of course, it's not a silent cry for help. Because they do it. It's also right, because what else they're gonna do? But their way of dealing with problems is not to just announce it to others and wait for them to do something about it. Get interested in it. They actually pull through, right? So in that case, it's never that a man is a victim of circumstance and not just a violent loser, but a woman always is, and we should pay attention to that. And that might have something to do with all the male loneliness epidemic, in a sense that men are lonely, in fact, and they seek partnership through parasocial relationships in Twitch streaming and other venues, and killing themselves because they see no alternative and they can just do it, right, instead of just trying to kill themselves slightly. That went well. Try to kill themselves only a little bit to bring attention to themselves, because... And I continue. This doesn't sound pleasant. Oh, they did it for attention, yeah. What else is new? They always do, right? So, and also, like, I didn't finish my thought. I'm not gonna pretend or give, what is it, like a vote of confidence? What I'm trying to say is that I'm not gonna say allegedly committed all those atrocities the girl did, because she was in trial for that. She killed herself at the end of that mass shooting, so case closed. She avoided all the consequence by avoiding living anymore. You can't trial a corpse, obviously. I'm not really following the case, but I'm telling you, try to follow it and see whether the narrative is gonna be how bad she had it, and that's the only thing she could do left, and she was a beautiful soul, probably, as they tend to be. What can I go with? Probably the plasma rifle, yeah. Beautiful soul, and something like that. Meanwhile, anytime the issue touches a man, he's gonna be vilified. Check me, there's gonna be a few days in between when that happened and you see my video all about this. So the narrative is gonna start off, happen, and then die out. But if you would follow, tell me if I'm wrong, leave a comment. But that is a symptom of unequal treatment of men and women, and not to a detriment of women and to a benefit of a man. They're, you know, like they say, men are told to tough it out. Meanwhile, if they show emotion, they're mocked for it anyway. So it's a difficult situation you are in, guy. Remember to have some friends to just shoot the shit with. And not a girlfriend, because she's not gonna understand that. Friendship is magic, after all. It would seem. But you know how it is. Disproportionate... oh, another one. Disproportionate judgment in favor of a woman, no matter the circumstances. And when it comes to child custody and homelessness and suicide rates and workspace accidents, lethal ones as well, and things like that. Meanwhile, girls, oh, it's a cry for help. Be mindful of that, because they're gonna try to push that against you or something. Anyway, so with the lighter thing, about time. Also, importantly, I wanted to voice my concern that I should have been using a rocket launcher when it comes to fighting Sarge as a boss recently, when he used the BFG against us, because the missile is gonna shoot the projectile, the rocket, and the speed of the projectile is gonna be faster than the plasma rifle, because, yeah, of course, plasma rifle is supposed to be powerful, but it's not gonna be powerful if you can't hit anything. It's not gonna help much. It's a problem in Star Wars as well, where every time you see anyone shoot anything, any energy weapon, the bolts move slow enough for you to just fucking dodge them, and for the Jedi to baseball bat them back at the sender and hit them with their own shots. So that's suboptimal for anyone. You know, if you can't hit, right? How far can you lead the target? The farther the target is, the more you have to lead, and the more time they'll have to avoid it, to dodge all of it. So that's suboptimal, and this plasma rifle is shit as well. You know, it's supposed to be useful in context of the game, because the quarters are close. We're in tunnels on Mars, so the distance is not that far, but it is far enough to make it problematic, such that a guy turned into a tank, a guy grafted onto a demonic tank, can just dodge your bullets, but it wouldn't be able to dodge a missile because it's faster. Yeah, that's a problem. And it's supposed to work world building. It's supposed to work in military context, where you do in fact, no, I should take the elevator, do in fact have to shoot people at longer ranges, and then they'll see the projectile fighting. Also, it might not seem like a big issue considering that the demons are utilizing their firebolts and eldritch blasts, where they where they go pretty slowly. But also, welcome to Earth, where we finally have firearms that make the projectile go at the speed of sound and faster. And the problem for the demon is that they did not evolve in an environment where they were engaged in an arms race, where their powers needed to evolve such that their projectiles were faster to catch a prey, or whatever. Yeah, prey, good enough. To catch the prey at a longer distance and be more lethal. Because, you know, apparently, clearly, the speed of their projectile was not a big issue. And it's not going to be a big issue in these corridors either. Just like plasma rifle ends up not being much. Also, plasma rifle is a balance. It's a thing of balance. The projectile is slow and you have to lead far, but the damage of an individual shot is large. You know, video game. We need that balance. This is open now, okay. And we need to flip a thing. Are there any medical stations? Probably not. So let's have a save. Also talking about weapons that I mentioned when I was fighting. I was upset, yeah, definitely, but I didn't clarify. If you'd like to listen. Oh, the elevator is in the...
Service lift called to station.
Yeah, and the ladder is now pulled up because this. Because now we're gonna have a fight here. What do I want to kill the guy with? Rocket launcher. Oh, you're gonna have an infighting? That's fine by me. Whoever dies first loses. Fuck, got me anyway. And I'm gonna get him anyway, too. There we go. And there he goes as well. So, is the elevator here? Yes, it is. Also, it's the angled elevator, just like in Half-Life 1 and Black Mesa remake. No medpacks here. We've reloaded. What do we want next? 200. Might go with SMG is fine because that's plenty. I still have plenty ammo for that, clearly. And yes, the accuracy. Problem is, at least in in some games, you've got the aiming reticle, obviously, because third person. Well, no, firing from the hip, from the first person actually. Not position, but perspective. The aiming reticle stays the same no matter the weapon you have, and it feels that's been proven, as evident by my fight with the Cerberus, what I've called. It doesn't feel good where you've got the same aiming reticle all the time. That doesn't account for the spread of the weapon, so even though you're firing straight, like I was firing at those Seekers, I think the Cube called them, with the chain gun, it ended up being such that the chain gun is not accurate enough to hit those relatively small targets at a large distance. So that was annoying, and there was no indication why would that be happening. So it's randomly and unintuitively, or not even representatively, inaccurate, basically. Oh, also good thing that I don't have a spacesuit, like a helmet or anything, where I could survive an environment like fucking lava here. Oh, I could use this, and I very much should. There's two of them now. Oh, snap. Oh, he's dead too. That's good. Oh, I should focus my efforts on the Archvile. Die already, die already, die already, die already, die already. There we go. Now we can pick up those pills. Pills here, too. And now in. Very good. Went relatively alright. Utilize our resources, cool. There's something else. Kaku Demon. There we go. Nothing indicated the inaccuracy of the chain gun or any other weapon. So it feels bad, man, when using and you're missing. At least you've got some idea when you're using any other weapon. For instance, in Call of Duty, the aiming reticle is wide, so you know that you're gonna have a large spread, even though the shots can be random at this in this volume, in this area on the screen. At least you know that might be so, as opposed to this situation. Right. Next thing, I guess. Where are you going? Got tired a little bit? Oh, hey, we're low on armor actually. Good thing there's some around. And we're not using that. 32 only on the wall, and we're barely 4 points off the maximum. So where are we going through here? The elevator. Oh, that was a raw spawn over there, huh? Are you gonna spawn? Took you long enough. Right, so I'm gonna try to close off with a little bit of an Andromeda rant again. Last time I talked about realistic animations that are not my favorite, and how I was supposed to talk about combat. So maybe now it's time. The combat is such that there are semi-open worlds, there are large areas where you can explore at your leisure and at your pace, as opposed to being linearly driven through a narrow location. But an issue is when you've got a place designed for just a combat challenge, let's say, when it's more structured, like one of the dungeons, you know, or the whole Novaria, I think, level in Mass Effect 1, or whatever you want to pull up in Mass Effect 2, maybe Cerberus base when you're going there. You know where the player is going to be, and also that happens in Andromeda as well. In a sense that there are dungeons, smaller, more narrower locations that you can eventually get to. Oh, we're very low on that. Smaller, narrower locations where the progression is more linear. So the developer can account for where you're gonna be, how you're gonna approach, where are you gonna approach, and the area is gonna be more designed to the idea, to the fact that you want to utilize your AI more, like show it off. And as far as it's, because again I played Half-Life 2 with the developer commentary, and they talk about how, which is kind of surprising, and now it's still kind of weird or something. Surprising. There are resources there, and I don't know how to get them. Oh, I guess we won't get them. They could only throw in so many Combine soldiers or enemies, really. And this is at a time, because running their AI is taxing, and they want to show off their AI because they boasted that their AI is smart, and they're gonna flank you, they're gonna coax you out with grenades, which is true, but you know, this became a standard in the industry, and it's not that it's bad, but it also, like they talk about in episode 1, I think, about Alex's. This is a weird platforming, and it's pretty bad because the platform moves as fast as you're moving, so it's running from underneath your feet, and if you jump, now you're too far off the ground, and you'll induce full damage. Ask me how I know. If you jump up to try to gain distance and speed, right, you'll break your legs, and that's suboptimal, of course, obviously. But yeah, this platforming is pretty shit. And also, can you get here, and what for? Well, I'll show you soon enough. This is why. Come on. Good thing that crowd jumping is working as intended. You don't crouch jump. You can jump and then crouch, which is shit, because otherwise you're crouching and then just standing straight up. Now I know why it feels so weird. There is a guy here, and he's hiding from the demons, of course, reasonably. However, the problem is, if this is just a work day like any other, if something happens here and you decide that you want to retract the entire fucking ladder, someone is gonna have to come here and get you, and the only way to activate that ladder is from here. Come here and get you by doing that shit-ass platforming, as if that's a reasonable way to get here. And it's not. Right, so we're gonna talk to the guy because that's content, and then we'll see what else can we do about it.
What are you doing here? You're gonna attract attention and then not come. Get out of here now. Take that key card. It'll help you get to the surface. I'm not going anywhere until I know all those things are dead. You can't stay here. You're making too much noise. They'll come for us. Will you please leave me alone and go get some help? You can't stay here. You're making too much noise.
He says, until all those things are dead. All those things, they've got like a plane of existence to themselves. Probably at least a planet. Probably at least some of it. Well, you know, so anyway. Assuming they're as plentiful as we are, on as much ground as we are, there's like 8 billion of them. It's not gonna be easy to kill all of them just so you can stop hiding in that hole. Anyway, have you got the ladder yet? Not yet. Now we do, and now it extends all the way up. Yeah, terrible idea. World building is difficult, so we're not gonna even try. Apparently, oh, don't do that. If you look around too much, you're gonna lose grip of the ladder and die. Yeah, cool. Cool game. Okay, which way? This way, actually. So, what was I saying? Killing billions. Something about weapons. Half-Life AI, showing off AI. And they had hard limits there, so how many you can put down. And that's important because now we're in the modern time. It's not 2004, it's 2024 actually. 20 years have gone by. And having an interesting AI for the player to fight against is a standard, and the enemies in Andromeda might have it, but the problem is, as much as you can put a bunch of them in the pre-designed smaller dungeons with narrower situations to maybe show them off, or at least plan the encounter with that in mind, from where you're coming and such, and which way you're gonna be going. You can design it to be interesting. However, the problem is, first off, I don't really remember the AI of any of the factions, let's say. You know, the enemy robots, the enemy aliens, and so on. Even animals. To be that sophisticated. But like Half-Life said, the more normal something, the more work you put in to making things feel more natural and more normal, they become more mundane, essentially, and you notice them less. So maybe the AI is rudimentary, or maybe it is as sophisticated as ever, and I just can't tell because I expect it as basic as opposed to get excited by it anytime I see it on screen. But anyway, smaller dungeons exist, and you can utilize them to show off your encounter design. The problem is, however, that's not the only place the encounter takes place. Yeah, that's a great grammar, I'll go with that. There are also fights in what would you call an overworld. And it's in that open world section, the semi-open worlds, where you can explore. How many of them are there? Where you can explore freely. And when you can explore freely, it means that you can approach any skirmish, because that's how I would categorize those combat encounters in Andromeda in the semi-open world. Come across them freely, explore them freely, and come from any angle. And so those skirmishes either come in a variety where the enemy is stationed in a little place where there's some either geometry, natural terrain, where they are already dug in and behind cover, and you're the one approaching them, meaning you're gonna have to put in the work to find a way to approach them, because they're already dug in, they've got defensive positions, and you need to run in. And so the problem is they've got the cover, so it's harder to hit them, and you're in the middle of nowhere because you don't have cover, because you have to approach them. And since you don't have any cover, they've got an easy shot on you. And it's relatively easy for them, actually, to shoot your car enough to destroy it, to explode it. To explode and kill you. Just like in GTA. So when that happens, you lose. So to mitigate that, you have to approach very fast and then jump out of the car so that you can take defensive positions behind something, find cover really fast. Alternatively, you can also approach on foot so that they don't destroy your car, and get killed that way because you're again don't have any cover. So that's not better, in fact. Right. How do you approach a skirmish like that, where they're dug in, or there's a natural terrain, or they've actually brought in their own generators and little erectable barriers? Yeah. I still don't know how to take those supplies from underneath, but we're gonna keep going. This opens shutters. Only those? Can I utilize that to get those supplies from where I said? Maybe, I'll try to get there. And a data pad. That's for the next time. So they're dug in. And you can drive in quick with your car. Hopefully... Oh, also, yeah, that place. Drive in quick with your car. Yeah, there is in fact a ceiling that stops me from jumping high enough to clear the obstacle. Pretty cool. Skirmish, approach, drive in fast before and exit the vehicle before they destroy it and you die. And then the vehicle, since it's not really important and there isn't any special mechanic to have it destroyed, and then you need to wait to be able to recall it again because it's gonna be reprinted or something, you know, space technology. They're gonna get another one or not, and now you lose a vehicle, or it's gonna take a long while, one way or another. Mechanic where the car can get destroyed, but you'll get sent a new one eventually, maybe. The point is, oh, don't break your legs. Okay, so that's still locked up. Even though I might not need all those supplies, I wish I knew how to get there, just for show. This looks like a ledge, but that doesn't lead anywhere. There's this barrel in the way. Oh well. Teasing cunts. Right, get out of the car, and now the car, since it's not an important entity anymore, it can't be killed. It's indestructible. And then you can take cover behind it. So even though it was just about to explode, it's not going to explode anymore, and you can utilize it as cover. So you brought in your own cover. You know, you need to do the cool trick of drifting in, or like entering the... oh hey, there's a ladder here, maybe that leads somewhere. Yeah, that does. Alright, cool, I figured that out. I feel accomplished. Something, cover, bring your own cover, yeah, and it's not no, indestructible. And undestroyable, indestructible. Because it's not gonna blow up and kill you, and there isn't any, like I said, mechanism to make you wait for a new one, because that's not fun in gameplay. So you've created your own cover now. And you know, as I said, as much as the enemies are capable of destroying your ship, your car, bitch, you wish, they are capable of destroying your car, and you are at the losing position, or like at a disadvantage where, the spawner. At a disadvantage where the enemy is already dug in and you have to approach them. And you can die, but even, like I said, on the highest difficulty, the insanity, it's quite reliable to not have that happen to you, and effectively destroy and wipe out the enemies in those skirmishes. And those skirmishes kind of seem boring, actually, because, like I said, you can't design an encounter around the location that you're gonna put all those enemies in to make it interesting or show off their AI. It's just they're just in a place somewhere, surrounded by cover, so they're gonna take cover and shoot at you, and maybe they'll approach you. They do approach you, and you know that can screw you up. But is it actually an interesting, clever? Oh shit, that's bad. Oh, cool. As they can design interesting encounter in a custom-made area where they know where you're gonna come from and where you're gonna go. Cotton Eye Joe, of course. Oh, that's gonna just fall away. That's what got me. Oh. How about I push you in? Unfortunately, I can do that only once they're dead, so that doesn't help me really. Not really need that, but probably we won't come back here to pick it up if we had the chance. There we go. We still have a soul cube too. Watch your step. Those skirmishes seem a little bit boring. You know, you want some combat, but like I said, maybe they sometimes get around your cover when someone else is getting your attention, so that they flank you and they start dealing damage and you're not covered against that guy and you have to focus, and that maybe creates an opportunity for another guy to get you. And so that puts pressure on you reasonably, expectedly. Careful with the floor, I want to outmaneuver the guy. Maybe he'll fall into one of the holes, probably not. Right. How about a grenade this time? Wow, nice. Why would I ever be worried about... Ah, snap. The arc I'm throwing that grenade at. It's time for this now. Reasonable, good. Oh hey, ammo. I needed that. Okay, only some though. How about this? How about that? Yeah, I guess we're going with this. But it's not a clever encounter, and it's not too difficult either. And it's not... Like I said, it may be that they're as smart as ever, but it's just a simple approach, you know? Get some cover, get out of the car, and now you can just dump on them. And they'll be hard to hit because they're gonna stay behind. I should explode that maybe. Yeah, they're gonna stay behind their cover because that's smart. And so they say they're safe behind their cover, so they're gonna stay there. You're in no cover, and you're just gonna find one and stay there. And it's very static, and not much is going on. You might die, but it's not that difficult to win anyway. So yeah, actually, like I said, you press a button, you do a dash, that's cool. You take cover, you reload, you use your powers, even though you have only 3 on your hotbars, and you can't utilize your team's powers at your will, at your wish. When you want them, utilize them like your hotkeys, but they're bringing their own powers, their own cooldowns, something like that. And they're using them on their own. Oh, one thing. The game is responsive, but it's not. They're not. It seems like they don't have much interesting encounters in the overworld, in the free roam, semi-open world. And there are 2 more things. I've noticed that because there are. Let's say there's Cora, and she's like a soldier biotic. And her powers are such that if you're close to her, one of her powers is that she's gonna boost your team's shields. So you wanna stay close to her, because she's got limited range, of course. But when you're staying close to your team members, they're gonna get in a fucking way. And I found myself walking into them, not being able to avoid a grenade, to avoid an assault, to reposition, to get cover, because they were stuck to me. Like, there is a balance, right, where you want to be close to them because they've got powers that have only limited range that will benefit you, but also you wouldn't want them to get in your fucking way when you're trying to avoid damage and dying, and yet that happens, and that happens often enough that every time it happens it's annoying. One way or another, if it's not happening too much, when it happens it's bad, and it seems to have been happening often enough that it's a problem. When I'm like fighting those world bosses, those were like remnant architects, and they've got powerful attacks, so you want to stay in cover, and then they're gonna use an attack that goes through cover, or one way or another it coaxes you out of the cover, so now you want to get up and dash, and oh hey, there was your teammate here stopping you from dashing, and the fuses of the grenades are running out, so they're gonna blow you up and you're gonna die. Cool, thanks. Awful shit. And second, there are animals, and there are big animals, and it's shit, because enemies scale with your level. Enemies scale with your level. Why is that a problem? Because you have a car, and sometimes you can drive over people, and that kills them because you've got a fucking car, but when you level up, they've got more health, and it stops killing them, because they've got more health, and that's not realistic, and it's even not, if not realistic, not reinforced. Yeah, that's the phrase they use in Half-Life. Yeah, reinforced, because at first it works, but then it stops. So that's not what you're expecting, and that's not what you've learned. But the mod, like I talked about, makes the car go faster, makes the forces larger, so you can actually drive over creatures and actually kill them, especially when you've got high level and they've got high health. Is that all? Yeah, I guess we've been here long enough. Thanks for watching, hopefully you enjoyed, and hopefully we will see each other in something I play for you for free. In the meantime, of course, interact with this video and every other video on my channel, preferably by watching and sharing it with your friends. Check out the RGB rave next to the video around the like and subscribe button, and if you don't like the content, it's entirely your fault.